Welcome to the Life on Tap podcast, where we help you rediscover your potential so that you feel confident, clear, and independent. Have you inadvertently put yourself last all these years by putting others first, only to wake up in your midlife and find yourself lost in the shuffle? Girl, I have so been there. Let me share with you the lessons I've learned to create a new direction to rediscover yourself. Together, let's go on a journey of mastering your potential, tapping into the power that already exists inside of you. We'll talk confidence, self-care, organization, health and well-being, money mindsets, financial hacks, and how to kick your limiting beliefs to the curb for good. We will find and establish your vision, get crystal clear on it. This is your blueprint, your life untapped. I'm your host, Francine Rivera, lifestyle consultant and certified health coach. I'm also the founder of the Life Untapped coaching system, where you can earn as you learn with our affiliate program. Check it out at thelifeuntap.com and grab our free mini course, The Guilt-Free Balanced Life, while you are there. Are you ready for your blueprint? Let's dig in. Welcome back to the show. I am so glad you're back, and we have part 2 today, how to be confident, with Des and Ginamarie. And if you did not listen to part 1, you need to pause this and go back to last week's episode 18. Listen to that first. It's just going to make a ton more sense if you start with that, because we're just going to pick up in the conversation where we left off. Okay, here we go. Why do you think it is that all of a sudden somebody who's like maybe 49-ish just doesn't have that confidence that they did maybe when they were younger? And you would think at this middle age, so to speak, you'd think they would be more confident, but yet she's just not.
I think it starts from, you think you could do whatever you want when you're a baby, a little kid. You watch Spider-Man, you believe you can climb walls, Superman, you could bound from buildings, and then we're told, no, don't do that. No, don't do that. No, you're going to get hurt. No. And then you got to climb out of that. Mm-hmm. And I think it depends on your journey. I look at Desiree and I look at all the things that she's done, that she stretched herself to put herself out there, which some people aren't willing to take the risk to fail, so they don't try to succeed. And the more you fail, really, and keep going and try more things, the more confidence you're going to build. And so as an individual, it just depends on how much risks are you putting out there? How hard on yourself are you when you don't achieve those things? And how willing are you to pivot and put yourself out there again? I know lots of women who failed at relationships and they put up these walls. They're like, that's it. All men are horrible and they're all dogs and they're all pigs and all of this stuff. And it's like, no, there's some really amazing guys out there. You need to put down your walls. You need to be willing to let somebody in. And I think if you can accept that you're going to fail and it's going to be okay, because nobody tries anything the first time and does the best that anybody has ever done. You have to do something the first time to start something. And it takes time to get good at it. And I think all of us think that we've got to be good at something before we even start to do something. So you just have to try and be okay with when it's not okay.
And, and maybe there's something to be said, Fran, for midlife crisis. Because don't you hear that? Like you said, maybe there's a certain age or there's a certain point when people are like, oh, when I was younger, I used to be able to do this so much faster, or I could, there's just things that you go back in time and go, gosh, when I was 20, I could have done A, B, C, D, E, well, guess what? You're not.
Okay, so Fran, you might have to cut this out of this one. What I'm going to say next. Here comes Ginamarie. No filter, Ginamarie. Okay, so here it goes. When I remember being like in my 20s, thinking to myself, sex is going to be like, I never would think that at 50 years old, sex would be amazing. Like there's no way. Like you're old. It's gonna be you're gonna be done. And sex is the best when you're younger. No, some things get better with age. And as I grew into, and I think it's because that you're just there's wisdom there. You're more able to communicate, and you are just more open to different experiences, than you are when you're younger and you don't know. And so I think that we have this image that things are done, and it's all where it's all at is the young girl with the perfect body and the perfect skin and everything. If you talk to men, and we've interviewed panels of men, and the core of it is they don't care about wrinkles. They don't care about stretch marks. There's a butt for every seat. So you could be any size, any height, any hair color, whatever. What really, really resounds is them embracing their essence of who they are in a confident way. And how that radiates surpasses any way that you look in the exterior. And so to get back to your question, I think that women think that it's over at that age. That, oh my gosh. And I'll have to admit, I was a little bit panicked when I was 49. I was like, oh my gosh, like what is even going to happen? How am I going Yes, Y2K. When I'm 50, everything's going to explode. I don't know, I gotta hurry up and get one in before I'm 50. But you know what? I realized that it really is only your mindset. There were a lot of younger men that were very attracted to me. And did I say very attractive? Is that a little confident or arrogant? Anyhow, so, it's all about who you are in the inside, really. It really, really is. And that was developing that, like I said, that mindset and all of those things just attract people. And I don't think people realize that. I think they bought into social media. This is where it's at. Airbrush this, airbrush that. Gotta have the perfect life, gotta have the perfect that. And they've really bought into that. And comparison is a thief of joy. They compare themselves to them, and they're like, I don't look like that. And honestly, for me,
they don't even look like that.
They don't even look like
that. Preach. I mean, comparison is the thief of joy. And with social media, with most people waking up and that's the first thing you do is scroll. So you're starting your day with a negative mindset, looking at stuff you don't think in your mind that you can compare to, the pretty staged, the house, the life, the vacation pictures, what have you. So yeah, I agree. I think that's a big part of it. And I also think because if you don't have that college degree and you didn't have those years in the workforce because you stayed home to raise your children, I think she's thinking like there's a lot of catching up. Like, what is she going to do? How is she going to, I'm doing compete in little air quotes here, compete with the next female out in the workforce? Like, what skills does she have when she was a stay-at-home mom all these years? So I think she's putting herself down when she actually has tons of skills because of everything, all the hats she has worn. So I think it is just a mindset and a perspective, and confidence, like anything else, is just a skill that you just have to work at, like you did in the car, saying affirmations and, surrounding yourself with other like-minded people. So yeah, it's just a skill.
Yeah. I think that is so true, because when I look at my girls and I think about like all the confidence that I have and everything that I've want to instill in them, they have to have their own journey. Their mama can't tell them, "You're amazing, honey. You're just the best everything," and have them go, "You're right." They have to go on their own journey, and they have to learn it themselves, and they have to love themselves and realize that they are worthy of love, that they are worthy to be loved. and that they are worthy to give love.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think another part of this too is if she was a stay-at-home mom all these years, she probably didn't dress up every day, and not always, because I know a lot of stay-at-home moms do get dressed up every day and put on the full face of makeup, but I think the majority just don't. And I think that outward appearance is going to help her with confidence too. Once she starts to dress the part of who she is, instead of always dressing down every day, I think that will help her confidence level. So now we're getting into the external reasons of why maybe she's not confident, right? I heard you guys talk about
Absolutely. Those are
this.
some things you can control, right?
Right.
Like getting your hair done, learning how to put on makeup, getting Jimmy Choos, or what did I get for Christmas? What are those called? Louis Vuittons?
Christian Louboutin.
I got a pair of Christian Louboutins. I got to get them sized right. I haven't been able to wear them yet. But I love getting dressed. I do. I loved getting dressed. I love, I'm at my body weight where I want to be. And that is an accomplishment that also gave me confidence, being able to achieve that. And, after having 8 kids, I mean, I was able to get down in between each baby. And I was raised in a home where my father would be working out in the yard and he would come in. I always took baths. I don't know why. He would keep coming and he'd take a bath. I hear him in the bathtub and I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm going to go to Home Depot to go get a part. Like, you're taking a bath and changing your clothes. But that's what I was taught. When you went out in public, you put on lipstick, you put on, you put yourself together. And so that kind of stuck with me. I always dressed up at home. I always pulled myself together through all of the kids. And I always exercised in between each baby. Had to be very creative with it, but that was something that I always did. But you're right. Not a lot of people do that. I look at the grocery store now, especially we are here in California. We're still trying to come out of COVID, so we're still only outside dining and everything, and a lot of people are still working from home. And in the grocery store, like nobody is dressed up at all.
I'm so excited to get dressed up for anything. Okay, even a walk in the morning. I'm like, ooh, how should I put my hair right now? Because I'm going out in the world. You're gonna feel like how much effort you put into yourself. So just think about that for a minute. If you put 2 minutes of effort, you're gonna feel 2 minutes of good. You know what I mean? But and I'm not saying you have to sit in the bathroom for 4 hours. You know what I mean? But it's like you have to start looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, I am worth the effort to put on my favorite. And it's not big things. It could be your favorite color. It could be that one shirt that, gosh, everyone seems to compliment me every time I wear this shirt. I'm going to wear the compliment shirt today. I'm going to wear my favorite shoes. I mean, just make it fun. And it can be something that isn't daunting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think too many people dress the way they feel instead of dressing for the way they want to feel, not the way they feel now. You know what I'm saying? So like if it's gloomy out, they'll tend to like really dress down. Or if they're just going to stay in, you know what I'm saying? Like you have to dress up and then your mood, your confidence will rise to that level. I think.
That was a big thing for me. But my first job after Jeff passed away I was the corporate director for a vineyard. And so I'm dealing with executives, and we did not have a dress code. And as long as you looked appropriate, they are put together, whatever. Not even that. Like they didn't even say any kind of dress code. And every day I would dress up like Google was going to walk through the door and wanted to rent the facility, because you never know what opportunity is going to be there, That's right. And I think you'll find when you start just putting yourself together, just how, you stand a little taller and you walk a little faster. The shoulders go back a little bit.
People notice it. They do. People notice your posture, if you're smiling, if you're making eye contact, all of those things matter, even in a virtual world. I know that we're all, on the computer, and maybe you're like, well, I'm only going to a computer. I'm not really going outside. Well, guess what? People still see you.
Mhm. And they treat you differently. They treat
Yeah,
you, they're
it just
right.
surprises me.
Yeah. So would you say there's any truth to the term fake it till you make it? Like, if for somebody who doesn't have confidence and they're trying really hard, do you think they should just fake it?
You have to.
Girl,
Okay. Yep.
Have to.
when I became a consultant when I was 22 years old, and I met with my mentor in a pizza bar with beer and pizza, the first piece of advice he told me is, Des, this job is going to be hard. You are going to not know anything, and you are going to feel lost in the sauce. But guess what? You better fake it till you make it, because that is the way that you're going to gain confidence, and people are going to start to trust in you as a consultant and actually want to ask you questions and think that you have a brain enough to help them. And I was like,
Okay, this is a huge thing, because you guys can't see what Des looks like. But and you probably have no idea how tall we both are. But she's 4'11", and she looks like she could be 12 at times. Like if Devs did not wear makeup, like she looks like a 12-year-old. So I can imagine, can you imagine being 22?
Yeah.
You probably looked 6.
Yeah, because you thought I was like,
You
18
have
or
to
something.
carry yourself that way. It's and for some people they have a real hard time with it. It's called imposter syndrome. They
Yeah.
use that to hold them back. But like I said, everybody that did anything for the first time had to do it for the first time. Did anything had to do something for the first time.
Yeah.
You've got to start somewhere, and you've got to believe that you can do it. And when you get on that bike and you ride the bike for the first time, you might fall off a couple of times, but act like you know how to ride it when you first get on it. And then before you know it, you're pedaling and it's second nature. You're not even thinking about it. But you've got to get on the bike and be willing to like scrape those bruises and believe that you can go forward on it before you can start chasing Lance Armstrong or whatever.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Yeah. I mean,
Somewhere.
all comes down to perspective, choice, how you're going to choose to act before you feel it, and learning skills. Confidence is a skill. And then surrounding yourself with other like-minded people.
That's right.
Absolutely.
So, awesome, ladies. Well, thank you so much. I mean, do you have I don't want to cut you short, any other last words, thoughts, anything you think that can help?
We just want to say that we're thankful for you. We're grateful for the work that you do. We listen to your podcast and we believe in the messages that you give. And so we're just grateful to be a part of your tribe and your community, to be able to reach your listeners, because we know that this is an example of a confidence builder, people being able to come and get great information and take it and actually apply it to make themselves be the best version of who they want to be.
Absolutely. And I've had the honor to be able to work with Fran, and she has just inspired me so much. If any of you haven't taken her course, I've taken her course and I absolutely loved it. And still, as much as we teach a lot of the same things, it was so great to hear another teacher. And so I would encourage you to purchase that if you haven't already. It's a great course, and I can testify to that.
And since you just mentioned it, I did this February love special, and it's still going on. I think this show might air in the beginning of March or the last weekend of February, but I want to let the listener know, if you use the code VISION, you're going to get 15% off the course. So that was a nice segue. We didn't even plan that, guys. I swear we didn't. So, but I'm going to put all this in. But you guys are awesome. I'm going to have all your information in the show notes. You guys need to go subscribe right away. So go subscribe to their podcast. Go check out their website. These two ladies are awesome. You have to go see what they look like, because they are beautiful, inspiring, helping women across the globe with confidence and more. And when you're just going to be so inspired by them, by listening to their podcast and going to their website. So it is an honor to have you ladies with us today. I can't thank you enough.
Thank you. Thanks, Fran.
Thanks so much for listening. But before you go, if you found value in today's show, I would love it if you would take a screenshot of this episode and share it with others on social media. And be sure to hit that subscribe button and head on over to iTunes or wherever you listen to rate and leave a review. It is how we can empower, educate, and shift how others visualize their lives. Until next time, my friend, remember to live a life untapped. You are worth it.